The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah!
Go Cowboys!
This is Talkin Cowboys. Streaming live from the Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star in Frisco.
Handoff, Elliott plowing to the goal line. Buried, sacked by Lawrence. Prescott keeps it, and he bangs it in for the touchdown.
And now, your hosts, Isaiah Stanback, Patrick Walker, and Kyle Yeomans.
It is a wonderful Wednesday edition of Talking Cowboys presented by Black Rifle Coffee Company, the official coffee of the Dallas Cowboys. We are live from the Star in Frisco in the SWBC studios here on this Wednesday prior to Wild Card Weekend. It's a Wild Card Wednesday.
It is.
Tampa Bay, Dallas coming up on Monday Night Football.
WCW.
It is win or go home time, and today we are going to preview the Cowboys defense versus the Tampa Bay offense. And one of those guys that plays quarterback that you never forget the name of. What was it again? Tom Brady?
Thomas Brady.
Yeah.
That guy.
That guy. Tom Brady and company going up against Micah Parsons in that Cowboys defense. We'll preview that throughout the show. Isaiah Stanback, Patrick No-C Walker. We've got Chris Beam. How's everybody doing?
Fantabuloso.
Yeah?
Fantabuloso.
Why is that?
It's just go time, man.
It's go time. You feel like this has the energy of a win or go home game just yet from a fan base standpoint?
Man, yeah. I mean, that's what it is. I mean, I don't know. I felt it on my way in here today. I know I'm retired, super retired, but like I started getting those little playoff jitters again.
Tingles.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, the little tingles.
The tinglies.
Like today's like your first real practice day. Like today's let's go. It's time to roll. You know what I'm saying? Like the preparation. Hopefully these guys have been studying like crazy. I wholeheartally believe that this coaching staff has instilled in them that what is required preparation-wise for a game of this caliber. I totally agree. I hope that that's the case. But I just hope that the players have received that. I hope that the players have received that because that is going to be what is the difference maker.
I agree. And we were kind of talking about it right before we came on here, Kyle, and you were saying that the energy around the building, it seems a bit quiet.
I wouldn't even say around the building. That's not necessarily what I was implying. I'm mostly saying amongst Cowboys Nation right now.
I think
it's just subdued. And it may be because it's Monday and it's not a Sunday game. We've got an extra day to kind of buffer.
Be calm before the storm.
Yeah?
And
you think so?
Listen, sometimes, and we talked about it yesterday when we were talking about just over the course of your life when you've taken some of your worst whoopings, whether it be on the athletic field or in the career field, whatever the case may be, how did you respond? And just speaking solely for myself, that was always the calm before the storm. So, like, after I got my teeth knocked out in whatever fashion it might have been, I locked in. And I didn't want to talk to anybody. I didn't want anybody talking to me. Just leave me in my space so I can stay where I'm at in this anger, in this fury, in this frustration so that it can remain as concentrated as possible so that when I get back the next day or the next round or the next matchup, full explosion. So that's kind of what it feels like. It's bubbling right now. And honestly, and again, we'll say it a million times, we did not want to see what we had to witness on Sunday.
No.
But I tell you what, if that's what had to happen to keep, I'll say it this way. I love what Jerry Jones said on yesterday to 105.3 FM The Fan. He said they were sobered up on Sunday in Washington. Cool. I like it. That's the energy I'm feeling. I'm feeling a lot of sobriety as far as you're not going into this game against Tampa Bay high off a 50-point bomb that you dropped on the Eagles week 18 of last season. You're going in with embarrassment and humiliation, and you can't possibly feel cocky. Now the energy has to be, hey, man, we got to get this done. What happened last week could happen this week if we don't get it together. So I'm here for that.
It needs to be that type of energy because you need to look at that game that way. I think one of the reasons why it is subdued around Cowboys Nation right now is because it goes back to what you were talking about where you're hoping that they show up.
Yeah.
And that it will be that up until that point.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's, like Patrick's saying, to Patrick's point earlier in the week, the signs have been there before that you can do it. Yeah. You're just hoping that it does happen after what happened in Washington. Nice. So there's a frustration aspect to it. But I tend to agree with you because come Thursday, Friday, Saturday, you're going to hear it ramp up, ramp up, ramp up, ramp up. Sunday, you're going to watch all these games, and everybody's going to be talking about, oh, man, Monday night's coming around. This is going to be a big game coming up. Anytime Tom Brady faces the Cowboys, it's a massive, massive deal.
That's a fact.
And with it being said that Tom Brady's 7-0 against the Cowboys have a little bit of a chip on your shoulder.
Yeah, I don't really go to that stuff. I mean, that's the reality, right? You look at the analytics, you looked at the stat line, all those kind of things, they're going to favor TB12. I really look at the preparation standpoint. I'm going to keep coming back to it. Preparation, no H. Just that you're going to have to be mentally tough. And the mental aspect of the game is what really separates teams in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like the preparation is like I can't even depict and explain to everybody like how high it is. Like you're spending every moment trying to gain an edge. Right? You remember last year when I was watching film and I was trying to find anything that's a tail, right? Any little thing. Right?
Did you find anything yet?
Maybe.
It's like boxing.
A little bit.
Wow, you're not going to share with the class?
No, I can't share it publicly.
Yes, you shared it publicly last year.
No, I did kind of. Then we got the carpet pulled off.
Yeah, that's fair.
So there's always something that a team has done all year long that's a tell. The mental aspect, the preparation aspect is what's going to give you that advantage. Mm-hmm. You have to go identify those things. This is when your scouting department goes to work. This is when your coaches go to work.
Right.
This is when you're able to communicate that over to your players to give them that extra edge, that half a step gain. And then you have to also be mentally tough because of the standpoint, teams are going to come out doing something different. First quarter, teams are going to do something different.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to, the first 15 plus, right? That first quarter is really when they're going to try to hit you upside the head.
That's where you set the tone.
That's where you set the tone, but it's also where that's where all your curveballs come.
Yeah.
But then what happens in second quarter, mid-second quarter?
Adaptation.
Now you start going back to what they've been doing all year long.
Yeah.
What did they do for 17 games? Now that's when you start looking, okay, I was ready to weather the storm because I might get punched in the mouth early. Okay, on both sides, right? Cowboys, Tampa Bay, they're both ready to get those jabs, right? But that's when you start looking at TB12 and start saying, okay, this guy is dangerous because he knows how to weather those storms. This guy's dangerous because he knows that those things are going to happen. And, okay, once the game settles in, now all my preparation, if DQ had anything that he's been doing all year long that I could pick up on, now I get to expose that. And on the flip side, right, Kellen Moore, and same thing, going against Tampa Bay, okay? They're going to start really relying on the things that they've been working on in practice, the film that the scouts have been picking up, all those things. And this is what I love that aspect of. It's a chess game. It's really a chess game, and that's why the turnovers
can't happen.
They can't happen.
Yep.
They can't happen, period. Because especially when you're playing a quarterback of this caliber, most of the time he's not going to give you that opportunity to get that one up. So you just have to tighten things down.
And really, it all boils down to what you just said, and then wrap a big glaring lanyard around it, and it's Tom Brady, it's Tom Brady, it's Tom Brady.
A lanyard? You went with the lanyard
I went
there?
with a lanyard.
Do you tie things with lanyards?
I can.
Is that just a thing?
I
thought it would just be a bow or
you could tie
rope
with
or
anything. With a rope,
bungee
a
cord,
lanyard, shoestring.
Shoestring?
I don't care what you tie them up with. Tie them up.
Okay.
Hog time. And
tie them up.
Hog time and leave them there. It all boils down to Tom Brady. The Tampa Bay offense and team as a whole goes as Tom Brady goes. They're not even as lowly as the NFC South has been this season. The Buccaneers don't even win this division and get themselves in the playoffs if not for a couple of game-winning drives from Tom Brady. All you ever have to do to almost guarantee you lose the game is be close late in the game with Tom Brady and leave enough time for him to have the final possession.
I want to talk about what makes playoff Tom Brady different when we come back on the other side of the break. We're not taking the break right now, but in the second segment, we will talk about it. I do want to get into news and notes, though, because a couple guys, of course, coming back from injury this week. We mentioned it yesterday. Leighton Vander Esch, Tyler Biadasz, Jonathan Hankins. Are they all going to be back out on the field today? Is that what's
the expectation? Is they'll all be on the field today.
Awesome,
as well as Matt Farniok, as well as DeRon Bland. We'll see in what capacity. Leighton Vander Esch has been a limited practice participant. He was all last week, so I would expect that he's going to ramp up to full on effective today, and we'll see what the others look like. If Tyler Biadasz is back on the field, I expect that he'd be in a limited capacity. I don't see them throwing him back out in a full, but we'll see Jonathan Hankins. They have to activate him, or I should say designate him to return from IR first before he can return to the official practice field. So we'll see if that takes place today. That is the expectation, and McCarthy will speak here at 11 o'clock, so we'll see if he drops a tidbit on, kind of a news item there saying that Hankins is going to be activated. I expect it to happen. And DaRon Bland, like I said yesterday, no indications at any turn that the Cowboys are concerned with that chest injury, so he should be a full go. At best, at worst, I could see them making him limited just as a precautionary standpoint, because you still have several more days of practice. And then Xavier Rhodes, still looking like Xavier Rhodes is going to take the field for the Cowboys. I don't see why they wouldn't put him on the field.
Elevate him.
Yeah. Make it happen. Because if you think about it, this is the playoffs. You don't win this game, there is no next game. So if Xavier Rhodes doesn't participate in this matchup against the Buccaneers and you, knock on wood, lose this game, what'd you bring him in for?
Yeah, what is he even doing? It would be kind of the conversation we had with T.Y. Hilton, where having a veteran in that room is great, because right now Trayvon Diggs is the vet in that room, and he's in year 3 in the NFL. Sure, if anybody in year 3 is qualified enough to be considered a veteran, it would probably be Trayvon Diggs. But Xavier Rhodes has seen a lot. He's done a lot. So having him in the room helps. But, yeah, you would like to have him as a depth piece, right?
You didn't bring him in as a consultant only, which is what – if he was signed and then did not play in the playoff game that, happened immediately after he was signed, then, again, what'd you bring him in for? As a player, you could have asked his advice and PayPal'd him a payment for all that. So, yeah, get him on the field.
Yeah,
especially against TB12.
What do you think about what Rhodes could bring? Is he kind of a hidden piece right now for this Cowboys defense, or is that just hoping?
I don't think it's hidden. I think that he definitely adds some depth to you. Now, you go again to the make shot and saying, why was he out there type of deal all the way through the whole season.
He was only out there for like a week.
Squad. That's right. I'm not no disrespect, but he adds value in the sense that he's seen a lot, and you do not. I repeat, you do not want to go into playoffs, especially against a Tampa that is fully loaded offensively. Okay, aside from their center. Right, they are fully loaded offensively, all their weapons on the outside, with young corners. It's just in the most veteran of veteran quarterbacks.
It's dangerous.
It's just not something that you want to do, because you need somebody out there that's savvy enough, that's seen enough, that knows how to watch film, that knows how to pick up on indicators and communicate those, that knows how to bait him, that knows all the little intricacies in terms of coverages and leverage, and I'm a outside shade him, but I'm really gonna work my way to the inside shade. Right? There's a lot of little different savvy things that veteran corners do and know how to do. And he's had reps against TB12 as well. So this is somebody hopefully that is in shape enough to be able to come in and make a contribution ASAP. Because if he can, now you're ensuring that at least your outsides are solid. Right, and then you throw DB and you throw DaRon Bland in there. Now you have a solid 3.
Right,
you have a solid 3. And if Nashawn walks up in there, I hope that he uses his physicality to his advantage.
Have you seen them doing that a little bit more lately?
Who, Nashawn?
Just in general, pressing.
No.
Getting hands on it?
No.
Why?
I don't know.
Are they saving it?
I don't know.
Is it a thought process?
That's an Al Harris question, because Al Harris was really good at it. Now, he played a lot of off coverage. He was really good at shadowing himself, but he was quick enough to come out the breaks, and he was knowledgeable enough to be able to break early based upon what he was seeing from the quarterback's drop and what the receiver's depth and the situation, or situation based upon down and distance. He was savvy enough to be able to break and make plays on things. These guys aren't there yet. Right, except for Trayvon. These guys were not there yet. DaRon Bland's doing a great job of it based upon film study. He's able to acknowledge what the down and distance is, what the situation is, based upon the formation, the splits, right, the quarterback's drop, giving his eyes. There's a whole lot that goes into being able to make a really good reactive play at the cornerback position, which is why it's good to have an Xavier Rhodes in there.
But I think, and we mentioned it a few weeks ago as far as spacing goes. I think it just goes to trust. That trust has to be built with Al Harris. That trust has to be built with Joe Witt and built with Dan Quinn, with these young guys such as Wright that say, hey, I have enough trust in you that I can have you press man and know that you can recover and not get smoked on a go.
It's worst case scenario, right? You're protecting the worst case scenario.
Right, exactly.
The last thing that you want to do, right, is simply come up there, so the press, right? You're confident in the stature of your young Bulls, but at the same time, if you swing and miss, two-piece and a biscuit, and it's hard to recover from a two-piece and a biscuit.
Right. So the goal is. It can't.
I was wondering where you were going with that. Two-piece and a biscuit.
Two-piece and a biscuit. If you swing, right, you're at the line of scrimmage, you swing, and Mike Evans hits you with the ooh-wee, or Julio Jones hits you with the ooh-wee, or Godwin hits you with the ooh-wee, they're probably going to be, I forgot, Engage.
Yeah.
Going to hit you with the ooh-wee. You don't want to be chasing those guys.
Right, so it's keep them in front.
Keep them in front. It's bend but don't break.
These
guys have done a great job defensively in terms of red zone defense for the most part this year. They've given up some yards as of late, but in terms of red zone defense, they do a good job. So you would much rather have them have a 10, 12, 14-play drive that ends in a field goal versus come up there, press them, and then they get one big shot over the top.
And here's the thing when it comes to the Cowboys. And the Cowboys will have the ability to walk into this game feeling like this is mostly a one-dimensional matchup. Now, typically that is fantastic because your goal going into a game is to make any offense one-dimensional. What makes it a little bit dangerous is that it's Tom Brady. So nothing he hasn't seen or done before. Yeah. Okay, fine. But it still works in the Cowboys' favor. They don't necessarily have to, no disrespect to Leonard Fournette, but they don't necessarily have to worry about the prowess of the rushing attack when it comes to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They're not good at running the ball, and they know they're not, which is why they don't run the ball that often. I think they run the ball a little less than 23% of the time on first down.
But what do they do in place of running?
Hold on. I get what you're saying. My point is, schematically speaking, from a Dan Quinn aspect, and this is why I said it's all about hog-tying Tom Brady. Because if you hog-tie Tom Brady, you just hog-tied more than 3/4 of the offensive production for that team. And now you're demanding that Leonard Fournette and that rushing attack be effective and efficient, but they've not been able to do that over the course of 17 games. I'm sorry. They're 32nd in the league in efficiency on yards per carry, 32nd in the league in average yards rushing per game. The list goes on and on. They quite literally have the worst rushing attack in the entire NFL. And that's what should make Cowboys fans feel a little bit better, because what's been one of the Achilles heels for the Cowboys defense this season, more often than not? Run defense.
Yeah.
Well, your run defense, not only is it getting Jonathan Hankins back in all likelihood and getting LVE back in the middle, your play caller and one of the best players that you have on your defense, to help upgrade your run defense, but you're getting that at a time where you're playing against an offense that doesn't run the ball well at all. So if these corners, to your point and to Kyle's point, if these corners can figure it out against Tom Brady, and for me, figuring it out against Tom Brady doesn't mean trying to outsmart him, because you won't. You can't. Not going to happen. But you can outsmart Mike Evans. You can outsmart Godwin. You can outsmart Russell Gage. You can, a little less Julio Jones because he's been there so long. Sure. But my point is, if you can get these guys to decide wrong on smart routes, if you can knock them off of their timing at the line of scrimmage, if you can make them have a split second later on their breaks, whatever the case may be, then the ball that would have been a great ball from Tom Brady now becomes a questionable ball, not because of Brady, but because of what happened on the receiving end of that. That might become an interception. That might become a pass breakup. Get in the face of these receivers, disrupt the passing game, force the game on the run for Tampa Bay. Hankins, LVE, that run defense against the worst rushing attack in the league, ball game.
I like to agree with you.
It sounds easy.
I like to agree with you. Let me give you a little bit of
really
It's the blueprint, but you gotta execute the blueprint.
Blueprint, KRS-One or Jay-Z?
Oh, yes.
Okay. So
yes.
I like what you did there, okay? But the reality is Tampa Bay doesn't care about running the ball effectively, right? If you're going to give up the run, they'll take it.
77 yards per game to go to Patrick's point. 32nd in the country.
Absolutely. But what are they leading?
Dead last.
What are they leading the league?
Less than 4 yards
Number
per
2
carry.
in the league.
What are they leading the league?
Passing yards. 270.
Passing play percentage. They're leading the league
that's what I'm
in
saying.
passing play percentage.
They don't want to run because they know they can't, and it doesn't matter because they got Tom Brady.
But
so
how do they run the
force
ball?
them to run.
But how do they run the ball?
Physically?
No, they run screens. Yeah. That's their running game.
I was about to say, Leonard Fournette ran through some people.
Their running game is, and that's why stats don't tell the whole story, right?
Fair.
So they're not doing traditional runs.
Fair, they have quasi
right?
runs.
But to our point, what do our corners not do for the most part? They don't what?
Run, defend.
Right? No, not even that. They don't impress.
You said they don't crash down.
They don't press. Okay, so being that they don't press, we can go back to Mullen last week. He's playing 9 yards off and still gets gas on a go route, right? So we're talking about these guys are having 6, 7, 8, 9 yards of separation at the snap of the ball.
Let's not
these
mention
guys.
that name.
Hold on, I know, but look, that's the reality. And this is what I'm saying. Like, I hope that Al Harris changes up what he's been doing against these guys, because it's one thing to come up and simply just press and play man-to-man, or press and play cover 3, or press and bail on 4, whatever it might be, right? And get to your coverage. It's another thing when I'm lining up 6 yards away from you and I have a quarterback who literally will make eye contact with you and change the whole play. There's not going to be any over. There's not going to be no alert. Trust me, I've been in those huddles with them. They will take a screenplay all day long. When I say a screen, I'm talking about looking at Kyle, giving him a little head nod, and all of a sudden, the 2 inside receivers are now going out and blocking somebody who's playing 6 yards off. And I throw an easy high percentage pass, super high, 90+% pass to somebody who can now catch it and run 5 yards.
No.
That's their running play. That's how they run the ball. And if you do press, what do? He's going to toss it up, and because he's Tom Brady, most of the time they're going to give him the PI call if you don't do everything right as a defender. So it puts you in a predicament, and even on the traditional screen plays, they will feint, right? And I'll show this on film room. They will feint.
Yeah.
They will literally have the guy on the outside, run him on the screen pattern. If it's open, he's taking it. If it's not open, the inside receivers that normally go out and block, if you're coming downhill aggressively as a corner, right? You want to come down. Oh, they're running the screen. I'm coming downhill. Now they're taking it and they're running goals up the sideline. So it really puts you in a tough place, and that's why the veterans really come into it. Any decision that you make, you're really caught in between.
And
Real quick, I want to go to break real fast. So let's continue this conversation, because the press, at least when you look up to it, pressing on the outside, that looks like a be-all, fix-all, but like you said, there's a little bit of a hole to it. You got to keep that in mind. When we come back, we'll continue that. We'll have Patrick's thought on that as well when we come back with more Talkin' Cowboys.
When you build, you start with the foundation. And home ownership is a foundation of a stable future. The Bank of America Community Home Ownership Commitment has helped over 34,000 people lay the groundwork so far, with up to $10,000 towards your down payment or 3% of the purchase price, whichever is less. The satisfaction of owning your own place can become a reality. Visit bankofamerica.com/homeowner to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America N.A. Equal Housing Lender. Credit and collateral is subject to approval. Restrictions apply. This is not a commitment to lend.
Did you get to work on time?
Yeah, but I just realized it's Sunday.
Little Sweet says head on home. Dr. Pepper's on its way. So sweet, unique. Baby, there's nothing better. I bet you've probably done something that deserves a Dr. Pepper. Did you invest your nest egg in an NFT?
Yeah, and I don't even know what that is. It's a non-fungible token.
Everyone's done something that deserves a Dr. Pepper.
Todd thought it would be secure to jog in the cheetah savanna. Todd believed the big cat repellent he bought online was reliable. And now, Todd is trying to be faster than this cheetah that can run 80 miles per hour. But the good news is, Todd has AT&T 5G that is fast, reliable, and secure. And he learned the best thing to do is stop running and toss her the backpack with the beef stew. AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure. It's not complicated.
5G requires compatible plan and device. 5G may not be available in your area. See att.com/5G for you for details.
Are you ready to take coffee off your grocery list forever? Black Rifle Coffee Club is here to help. As a coffee club member, you'll get your favorite coffees roasted, packaged, and shipped to your door free of charge on your preferred schedule. Set it, forget it, and never run low on coffee again. Members also get exclusive deals on coffee, products, and discounts from partner brands. Ease your mind and let Black Rifle worry about your coffee supply. Go to blackriflecoffee.com to join the coffee club today.
Back to Talkin' Cowboys.
Just steps away from the Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters in Frisco, you could visit the Star District, your destination for excellent dining, premier shopping, and exciting events. Visit thestardistrict.com for more information. And by the way, it is official. Dallas Cowboys taking on Tampa Bay. Tom Brady coming up on Monday. Come out to the Miller Lighthouse at AT&T Stadium for a free wild card watch party. Woo! On Monday, January 16th. Cheer on the boys alongside the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders and Rowdy while enjoying lawn games, food trucks, music, the Cowboys pregame live pregame show, and more. Gates open at 5:30 p.m. and kickoff is at 7:15. For more information, visit dallascowboys.com/2022 playoffs.
Why would you sit at the house and watch the game when you could do that?
Oh, yeah. Why would you ever sit at the house?
Don't have an answer for that.
Yeah, I don't have an answer. We got big TVs around everywhere.
Yeah.
The stadium, the plaza.
Yeah.
We'll be at the Star coming up on Sunday for pregame.
Is there
pregame,
there's a
we're
big
at the
TV
Star.
out there?
There's a big TV out at the Star.
That's interesting.
But you can't. You got to go watch at Miller Lighthouse.
Yeah,
got to go to the Miller
I'm just saying
Lighthouse.
there's a lot of TVs.
But I'm just saying we'll be here at the Star.
Yes.
However, they're going to project our show and they're going to play our show live in its entirety at the Miller Lighthouse. So we'll be here.
Don't be at the house by yourself.
They're going to be there, so you can watch our show.
Yeah.
You can get ready. You can be with
celebrate
Cowboys
the
fans.
win.
You got
can have
Miller
fun.
Lite, you got Tostitos. I mean, just that combination of just
Yeah.
fire.
Yeah.
Keep it
I want
rolling.
to be able to celebrate this win
Together. As a unit.
as a unit,
If
as
you
a
have
group.
all these separate bodies, don't have all these fingers. Bring it together as a fist.
It's a celebration.
As a fist. You need to make a shirt like that.
Exactly.
That needs to be like the
Don't
steadfast.
be individuals. Don't be spread out as
Be a
individuals.
fist.
Yes.
It's preaching over here. Isaiah, stand back.
I was inspired by yesterday's phone call.
That's Pi May level.
That was awesome. That was awesome. I'm going to clip that today. I'm going to take it to Dak in the locker room.
Let's
I'm going to
go,
make sure he
please.
hears it.
Give it to him.
All right. Isaiah was talking about pressing corners, kind of bringing some pressure on the outside, disrupting the passing lanes for Tom Brady. I'm going to throw a couple stats out there to kind of back your point up here. Right now, the number one team in the NFL in terms of sacks allowed per attempt, Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They get the ball out quick. They're only sacked 2.9% of the time. 2.9. Just for comparative purposes, I'm trying to find Dallas. You thought I was going to say something else, but that's not what it was. Dallas is 5th in the NFL, so pretty good, right? They don't get sacked a whole lot. That's kind of been the thing. I mean, recently that number's gone up a little bit.
Just a little bit.
But 4.9. 4.9. So Tampa Bay's nearly half that.
Yeah.
Nearly half of the amount of time that even Dallas gets sacked, that's when Tampa Bay gets sacked.
Yeah.
And also, not to mention, their interception rate is 3rd in the NFL because it's only 1.3% of passes, percent of dropbacks. They get out the ball quick and they do it efficiently.
I'm pleading. I'm pleading with Al Harris. Because trust me, I know this guy. I know TB12. Right? I've been in those huddles. I know I know the changes, the things that he's not even going to say. But you better just know to make the change whenever.
Aaron Rodgers does the same thing.
Yeah, whenever there's a particular coverage out there, please press. I will take our chances at him throwing. He throws a great deep ball. He throws a great fade
Always
ball,
has.
back shoulder, all that kind of stuff.
Safeties with stuff.
Please, man, please press, because if you don't, these 12-yard out routes, these 5-yard out routes, right? If you're playing off and inside, or even off and outside, these are easy pass and catch, like routes on air. If anybody gets to the stadium early and watches warm up and they see these guys throwing routes without any defenders, that's what it is to him. And that's a run play. That's an effective run play to him. That's why he's played so long. That's how he conceptualizes this. If they're not going to take it away, easy.
Here it is.
We throw this all day long. That's a first down.
Yeah.
That's a first down. That's 6 yards. Now we're second and short. That's how he looks at it. So don't get caught up in the rushing stats. Do not get caught up in the rushing stats, because those to them are run plays.
Right.
So please get up and press, because when you get up and press, now you disrupt all that. Now you have to start going to fade routes, right? Back shoulders, deep balls. It gives you have just as much of an opportunity to make a play than the receiver does. And that's going to ask a lot, because guess what? You're going to give up some plays.
Yeah.
You're going to give up some plays, but you take away their running game.
Right. You have to pick your poison here. I said it yesterday. Tom Brady is going to have some big plays. He just is. Doesn't matter how you play it. You can press it. You can play it in the zone. It doesn't matter. He's going to have some big plays. The question is, can you minimize them, and can you pick and choose where and when you want the big play to occur? That's how you win the game against Tom Brady. But going back to what you were saying about the screen game, 100% right. For those that want to go back and watch film on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I started really diving into it yesterday as a means of setting up for this week's edition of Science Lab that drops in the morning. Shameless plug. That is an excellent point. And that's why it's that much more important that LVE is back on the field. The large majority of the screen passes, as far as the running backs that are getting them out of the backfield, it's Leonard Fournette. He has more than 50 receptions on the season. I like the matchup of a Leonard Fournette versus LVE because Fournette, while he's a big body guy and he's strong, so is LVE. So it's strength on strength. It's not speed versus strength. So if it was a speed guy getting those out of the backfield, such as a Dalvin Cook, whom the Cowboys did well against, or someone like that, Jonathan Taylor, who has that speed, Fournette, he's not slow, but he's not fast. So by the time he is able to get the ball, that's a perfect matchup if you're talking LVE being able to play sideline to sideline. A healthy LVE might just be the reason you can walk away with the win in this game. Because an excellent point, and you're right. You're absolutely right. I would be much more concerned, though, if Leighton Van Der Esch wasn't going to be back on this field. So the fact that he is, and he's not going against a speed back in Leonard Fournette on those screens, then the thing is, can he, and I believe he can beat Leonard Fournette to the spot. Can those DBs get off of those blocks on those screens?
That's my thing, because I obviously want LVE's presence, right?
Yeah.
But the reality is, when I speak on screen game with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, it doesn't come in the form of what most people go to.
It's not a true run.
It's not a true running back screen. I'm thinking about wide receiver screen. So when you think about the defensive backs that you guys want active for this game, guys that have kind of been swing guys up and down, who are the DBs that you absolutely just say must be a part of this game?
Trayvon and Deron Bland.
Okay, who else?
Probably Nahshon.
Okay, so that's 3.
I'm just going to throw Rhodes in there. I got to see
it.
I got to
4.
have it. I got to have it. That's 4.
That's 4 DBs. You need more.
I mean, I don't. Are you talking about guys that I have confidence in?
I'm talking about just
DBs.
DBs.
I thought you were thinking corners.
No, I'm talking about
Curse, Wilson,
Hooker.
Yeah.
Dono's going to be.
I would love for Israel Mukwama to be in the fold,
huge.
too.
I would love for Israel Mukwama to be in there.
Dono will have to be huge.
If you press.
Yeah. Dono will have to be huge.
If you press.
Yeah.
And that's what I was kind of getting at. There's some guys that have been swing guys up to this point that I need present for this game because of what their skill sets present and the complications that their skill sets present for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Do you think like a Marquise Bell could maybe play into that too? He's kind of a bigger guy.
He's a bigger guy.
He's a similar skill set as J-Ron Curse. He's not as strong, but he might be quicker than J-Ron.
I'm not sure this is the game I want him in there.
Too much.
Yeah, I want Israel. I want Nahshon, Deron Bland. Obviously, I need him on Godwin. I need him on Gage. I need on both of those guys.
I like Bell's potential, but because we haven't seen him get enough reps this season, Tom Brady's.
I just wanted to throw it out.
Tom Brady's just going to stare him down.
But
that's the one.
But you know what
41,
I do like?
boom.
You know what I do like about him? He's going to hit you.
Yeah,
he is.
And this is a team that you have to hit because you think about it: veteran receivers, veteran quarterback. You start hitting these guys, all of a sudden their mechanics go to crap.
Yeah.
Okay, TB12, we know TB12. I can go all the way back to my playoff game with him when I was there in New England. We got our butts kicked because they freaking Baltimore Ravens were hitting the crap out of us. They were hitting the crap out of us. And when TB12 had 3 interceptions, couldn't recover. 3 interceptions, and Baltimore just ran the crap out of the ball with Ray Rice. Just ran it, right? So hit them, right? And then when they do want to do the screenplays, guess what? Come downhill and hit Mike Evans. Come downhill, hit Julio. Hit these cats to the point where they're like, you know what? I'm going to run the play, but I don't want any part of the smoke in terms of crossing the line of scrimmage.
But here was my point against as far as the screen is concerned. And I knew it was more than 50, but I couldn't get the actual number. Now I have the actual number, and it's much higher than 50. Leonard Fournette, 73 receptions, targeted 83 times. He is third.
He has 73
receptions.
Wow.
So we're talking about screen.
That's receiver number, like number 2 or 3 receiver numbers.
The screen is primarily Leonard Fournette.
Yeah.
73 receptions, third most on the team, 523 receiving yards, also third most on the team, averaging 7.2 yards per reception. Leonard Fournette is the screenplay for Tom Brady. that matchup of Leonard Fournette versus LVE, that's me all day long. That's where I'm at.
But I was going to ask you 2 follow-ups on that. One, Leonard Fournette, 21 carries, 127 against the Cowboys on the ground, and that was without the screen game. Now you add the screen game into it. I feel like it makes him even more lethal in that regard. But one, you said you're confident in LVE, which I agree.
On the screen, yes.
LVE has been there. Are you really that confident in his health? Because he's been out these last couple of weeks. Is he going to want to come up and hit somebody?
Yeah, I don't see him having any hesitation there. But I would switch.
I see him.
I don't think that LVE is lacking the ability to take care of Fournette. But I would much rather, if we had to play man, right, and if we're talking about assignments, I would much rather see Damone Clark on Fournette.
And as much as I am Damone Hive, day one for Damone, he struggled these past couple of games.
I was about to say 3 of the last
struggled.
4.
So it's LVE or bust for me, and that doesn't mean that it has to be 100% LVE. Obviously, rotate Damone in there because he has a lot of value. He has the speed, but as far as NFL IQ and readiness goes, LVE has it in spades. And then when you talk about what Fournette was able to do on the ground, taking handoffs against the Cowboys. Well, guess who wasn't here in Week 1, but is likely going to be back on Sunday? Jonathan Hankins. Yep. So it's not the same defensive front that Fournette is going to face. Be it in the screenplay. I mean, LVE was here in Week 1, true enough. But if LVE, having now played the season he's played, because coming into Week 1, everyone was hoping that LVE could, but based on the past couple of seasons, they're like, we don't know. And maybe there was a little bit of a question mark in his own mind. But now this version of LVE is Pro Bowl minded. This is I know what I can do. I'm going out here and I'm eating and talking to him in the locker room. What he has in his eyes. Mm-hmm. That guy looks dangerous.
I hope you're right. I really do.
Dangerous.
Because talking in the locker room
in the
and
aspect
stepping up and hitting Leonard Fournette are 2 different things.
That dude.
I hope you're right. I really do.
I'm excited about both Jonathan Hankins and LVE, but to what I'm trying to present to you guys, this is going to be a sideline-to-sideline game.
You don't think the win comes in between the hash marks?
I don't.
Which I think is a good thing because who's not been winning in the hash marks recently?
If it's reduced to that, that's great.
I'm saying
I'd rather that than Evans on a goal.
Yeah, but I'm not saying that they're not going to get to those. I'm saying that their strategy, from what I believe that their strategy is going to be sideline, get everybody running sideways because that you can't have a pass rush doing that.
No, it neutralizes
every team that's done that against Dallas has been successful for the most part.
Yep.
So get them running sideways, and then what? Then I'm coming up the middle. Right,
well,
so Jonathan Hankins, right? Most of the time, they're going to try to eliminate him out the game. Mm-hmm. So now you're relying on your other defensive linemen to have an impact, which they can, right? But this is
especially
not this
especially Tank
primarily is not a Jonathan Hankins game.
Well, it goes back to what they did against Dallas in Week 1.
It makes it a
D-Law, Micah, Dorrance, all those guys on the edge have to have a great game. But it's what they did in Week 1. 19-3, they did it by getting out to the edge. Yep. Mm-hmm. They did it by working down the field. Now, that kind of gets neutralized when you get into the red zone. So what happened? They stalled out in the red zone. Facts. They kicked 4 field goals. It's going to be very similar,
Absolutely.
I think,
that's
to what they're going to do.
Yep.
So that's where you have to run in between the tackles is when you get down inside the 20s and you're trying to work downfield. That's how they didn't have a ton of success. Only had the 1 touchdown against the Cowboys in Week 1. All right, when we come back, we've got an inside source here. Somebody who was in a locker room during playoff time and played against playoff time, Tom Brady. What makes him different? What makes him tick when we continue our preview of the Cowboys defense versus the Tampa Bay offense with more Talking Cowboys after this?
Todd thought it would be secure to jog in the cheetah savanna. Todd believed the big cat repellent he bought online was reliable. And now, Todd is trying to be faster than this cheetah that can run 80 miles per hour. But the good news is, Todd has AT&T 5G that is fast, reliable, and secure. And he learned the best thing to do is stop running and toss her the backpack with the beef stew. AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure. It's not complicated.
5G requires compatible plan and device. 5G may not be available in your area. See att.com/5G for you for details.
Black Rifle Coffee Company serves premium coffee to people who love America. When you drink Black Rifle coffee, you are directly supporting veterans, law enforcement, and first responders in your community. Black Rifle's expert roasters love coffee almost as much as Texas loves football, so it makes sense that America's Coffee partnered with America's team. Go online at blackriflecoffee.com and fuel up with the official coffee of the Dallas Cowboys. That's blackriflecoffee.com to fuel up today.
This sweet. Did you get to work on time?
Yeah, but I just realized it's Sunday.
Little Sweet says head on home. Dr. Pepper's on its way. So sweet, unique. Baby, there's nothing better. I bet you've probably done something that deserves a Dr. Pepper. Did you invest your nest egg in an NFT?
Yeah, and I don't even know what that is.
It's a non-fungible token. Everyone's done something that deserves a Dr. Pepper.
Want to use what the pros use? How about the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black? Right now, you can get the Jack Black Starter, a curated collection of Cowboys locker room favorites for just $10 with free shipping. The starter includes 4 Jack Black skincare favorites, plus a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Go to getjackblack.com/Cowboys and use the code word TEAMJB. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys. The Jack Black Starter, $10, free shipping.
Back to Talkin' Cowboys.
Back here on Talkin' Cowboys, and again, if you haven't heard us before, Country Music's Party of the Year is coming to Ford Center at the Star in Frisco. The Academy of Country Music Awards are always bringing you country music's brightest stars together under one roof. And no one does country quite like Texas. Witness history on May 11th. Get your tickets at SeatGeek.com. By the way, Cowboys social team, who does a great job upstairs, they posted the debate in which was raging here on Talkin' Cowboys a couple weeks ago.
We're the originators.
Would you eat the end of the bread? Would you eat the ends of the bread? And it was quite the fiery debate.
It's a good one.
All three of us eat the end of the bread.
Doggone right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Beamer doesn't because he said he's
bougie.
He's bougie.
Bougie.
Listen,
He doesn't
we've
do it.
found out a lot about the players based on their answers. I love what Dak said. Dak was like, absolutely. He was like, some people aren't strong enough.
Oh.
There we go.
I liked what Micah said. He was like, that's when you really know you're from the trenches.
Right. And
you're from the trenches.
And Sam and Osa
Yeah.
and Dante, they were like, listen, come on. What did Sam say? Sam said, put some syrup in between those.
Who was it
those two
that
things.
gave the whole description?
Osa.
Was that Osa?
And he nailed it because that's how you do it.
exactly
Osa
how
said,
you do it.
push the front one out of the way. You
walked
eat
it
all the
all
ones
the
in
way
between, and then that leaves you with the ends. You put them together, and that's a fire
Bro,
sandwich.
It is a
that was
fire
the best
sandwich.
answer out of all of them.
He got it.
Hands down.
Osa's great.
Osa Odigizua with the bread
Bro,
science.
it's straight
Love it.
science.
Love it.
I knew I loved Tyron Smith so much.
Love it.
He goes,
The biggest guy
no.
out there is like, you mean the booty bread?
Yeah.
No, man, we don't eat the booty bread.
Go look at the video. It's up online.
It's
All of the
fantastic.
social channels. It's the Cowboys cam this week.
It's
And
fantastic.
great debate. It was started by Isaiah. Isaiah was the first one that brought it up. So credit to you. Really, really fun. It was a great debate upstairs. And then we brought it downstairs, and the social team took it and ran with it. And they said, let's do it. The players loved it. It was
And ladies and gentlemen, trust me, when he says it was a great debate upstairs, it was a fiery, spicy, heated debate, and people are willing to die on this hill.
Yes, sir. Also, Roxanne Medina, who does great work with our video department. I was down there sitting with her the day they were recording this a couple weeks ago. For the fans, by the way, that are out there, like, why are you posting
was
videos
recorded
like
last
this?
week.
Why are you posting videos like this? Getting ready for Tom
talking
Brady.
like
Whoever's on Twitter getting
Pepper's
upset.
Farm.
That's who it is. Yeah, that's the Twitter
Shakes
voice.
fist at cloud.
Focus
Angry man
on
shakes
Tom
fist at
Brady. This
cloud.
was recorded weeks ago.
Yeah,
Chill.
seriously.
It's fine. So when they recorded it, Roxanne was like, I've been out here almost every time they've done this. This is by far the most debated topic I've ever seen going down those hallways. So lots of fun. Go check it out online.
Hey, it all starts with Talking Cowboys. That's what we
always
do. That's
does.
why you got to tune in daily.
Start your day with Talking Cowboys.
Let's go.
Right? Let's talk about Tom Brady.
Thomas.
You were teammates with him in
Yep.
New England.
In the
got
playoffs.
to go through the playoffs with him.
Yep.
You also won a ring by going through Tom Brady in the
Absolutely.
playoffs by winning it with New York.
Yep.
What makes him different?
Preparation, and it really just all boils down to preparation. I mean, you think about how he gets ready for games. This dude watches an unfathomable amount of film. I mean, it's
Give us an idea. What would it look like?
he's going to watch every game.
Yeah.
He's going to watch every game.
Every Cowboys game?
Every Cowboys game.
Wow.
And he's going to look for any kind of keys. He's going to take all the analyst work all the statisticians that send all those reports. He's going to break all those down, and then from that, he's going to break down. He's going to have a film. He's going to have his own breakdown of things based upon the game plan for the Cowboys. Okay, whether it be things that Dan Quinn likes to do in certain situations and down the distances, whether it be things that they can force Dallas into based upon formation or based upon motions. Mm-hmm. He's going to break down and put all that film into one little folder, and he's going to call in his whole offense. And he's going to watch every single one of those plays with his offense, and he's going to tell these guys, when we do this, they're going to do this, and this is what I expect you to do. This is where I want you to be. I don't care what our normal route concept is. This is this is how I want you to change the route. If they line up like this, I'm not even going to look at you. If they line up like this, you change whatever we're doing to this because they're giving us that play. The communication and the preparation on that regard is second to none. The second best player that I've been with to do that is Eli, and it wasn't even close in terms of how they were.
Wow.
And I mean, obviously Eli's won 2 Super Bowls, right? But
yeah,
I mean, Tom Brady he's so detail oriented. And again, if there is a tell, he will find it.
Wow.
Yeah,
you think he's a good poker player?
I don't know, but he does. I mean, it's going to be hard for him to walk away from the game because he's so passionate about it. Mm-hmm. It's like everything about it is competition. He doesn't want to walk away from a practice with an incompletion. He doesn't want to walk away from a practice with a bad rep, or everybody any kind of mental lapse. I mean, like everybody's going to be so honed in and keyed in. Dan Quinn's going to have some curveballs. He's faced them before at a high level, obviously at the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So these two are going to be going head to head. This is not Byron Leftwich versus Dan Quinn. This is Dan Quinn versus Tom Brady. And Dan Quinn needs his guys to execute his game plan, and Tom Brady is going to go back and look at that film against Atlanta, look at all the past few games that they've played Dallas, and he's going to look and see what is the common denominator between all these things. Mm-hmm. When we come out in a 3-by-1, what does Dan Quinn like to do against me? When we come in a 2-by-2, what does he like to do against me? This is a battle between Tom Brady and Dan Quinn.
Is he the best film watcher in the history of football?
Absolutely.
You would put it all on
Not
that?
even close. In terms of guys that I play with, and I play with a lot of Hall of Famers. I've been blessed to play with some really good guys. Not even close.
Wow.
Yeah, it's kind of scary. It's kind of scary. That's why you have to be on top of everything.
That's a really good question. I wonder how would he, fare against the Dan Marinos, Troy Aikmans of the world.
I can't speak to those guys.
No, I'm just saying that's making me wonder. That's a really good question.
Well, where does he stack up against the guy that he's going to be going against on Monday night?
As far as watching film.
As far as watching film, I mean, Dak Prescott watches a lot of film.
As far as watching
I can't speak to.
Yeah, you've never been
speak
watching
to his preparation. Yeah. I can look at the decision making, and I can make the assumption that they're on two different. No, it's
a great question. Just makes me wonder, in the annals of great tape grinders, who's on the Mount Rushmore? Yeah.
Ray Lewis.
An answer we will probably never
Ray Lewis, for sure.
I can agree with that.
Ray Lewis, for sure. I mean, you talk about somebody, that's why that battle was so doggone good when we lost that game against them. Ed Reed, and those guys just happened to play on the same doggone team. I mean, let me help you understand the details. Okay, Ray Lewis, during the time that I was playing, okay, and they kicked our butts, right? You talk about Ray Lewis versus Tom Brady. That's and Ed Reed in the second day,
awesome,
right? Yeah. Syracuse, all them cats, right? These guys would pay. Ray Lewis would have film sessions at his house. He would call the whole defense, order pizza, all that kind of stuff. Everybody, the whole defense come over. We're watching film in my theater, and they would look for anybody's foot being cocked differently, pressure on the fingertips, right? We're talking about any little tail. That's how detailed playoff football is. Right? I'm looking at, if I come up to the line of scrimmage and I'm D. Lawrence, right, and you're your offensive tackle, I'm coming up to the line of scrimmage, and I can see the white on your fingers. I know that you're dropping back. I know that you're going into a pass set. Or if I can see the blood sitting at your fingertips, I know you're coming downhill. Like, that's how minute of details that you're paying attention to on every single play.
You think we're allowed to ask that question in locker room today? Do you guys have any outside of what's in this building? Do you have any extra film study? Do you think we could ask that question?
Go for it.
I think we should. I don't know if there's any restriction on talking about film.
You know what I asked? I would ask, do you watch more film in the building or outside?
That's a good question. I'll ask that to a couple guys today. I'll come back with you tomorrow on it. I'll let you know. But that's going to do it here for us.
Then the fans are going to say, "Well, they don't watch enough film." Careful with that. Careful.
Fair, but I want to know, and the fans deserve to know as well. For Chris Beam, Isaiah Stanback, Patrick Nosey, Walker, I'm Kyle Yeomans. We'll preview the Cowboys' offense versus that Tampa Bay defense tomorrow, and give you more of the breakdown for the wild card matchup between the Cowboys and the Buccaneers. That's it for Talking Cowboys. We'll see you tomorrow.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!